Hello and welcome to another episode of Hashtag Burning Questions. Hi Sholin, hi Alex, hi Tiego. Sholin, I like that intro. The OG. When I grow up, that's exactly what I'm gonna be. Guys, welcome to Burning Questions. And today we are looking at a code card from one of our own, Mr. Tiego Thotse. And Diego, maybe before we get into everything and the comments, because our people did not hold back. And at Fan Guys, we really appreciate you guys interacting with our content. We appreciate it. That is why we have this episode called Burning Questions, and this is where we respond to some of your interesting comments. Diego, what were you thinking? Where was your head at when you came up with this code card?
Well, I was thinking about South African politics, and to be honest, I was thinking about these politicians who steal our money, chow our money, and still come back and flash with the money.
Wait, all of
our
them,
eyes.
Diego? So you're basically thinking about all politicians, or what?
Yeah?
I'm just checking.
What did you say, Shola?
I was just checking if you were speaking about all politicians. Because
No,
you basically described most of them.
No, this ANC ones, they chow money, then they chow your money as the public and still come back and spend the money in front of you. And like you're not a hard worker at all. So I was very bitter when I came up with this, honestly.
Yeah.
Wait, had you found out about Cyril's millions that are in a mattress somewhere? Had you found out about that yet? Is that what fueled you?
I think I had just found out about the story of someone who handed money to someone somewhere. And so, yeah, but it's a daily story in South Africa.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Maybe let's go to the first comment. And this comment comes from Enrico, and he says, one might say they own us as long as we are dumb enough to keep voting for the same corruption over and over again. I think this is also the same story or the same thing that we said last week. Alex or Sholin, anyone of you want to respond to Enrico's comment?
Yeah, Alex, you can go ahead.
Sure. It's such a good point, eh? Because, it's keeping people in a loop. Look, we've spoken about before on Freedom Fanatics and Burning Questions about, how reliant people are on social grants and that kind of thing, and people vote. They think that social grants come from the ANC and not the government. Sometimes can't distinguish between the two. But it's not wrong, eh? You get what you ask for, which is why if you don't want loony politicians, vote for new ones. See what's out there. Look at the menu.
Vote for new ones. Okay, all right. We'll get back to that one for voting the new ones. I don't know how I feel about the new ones as well, but let's go to Eugene's comment. And Eugene says, I guess we gave these not. Okay, can I say this word, guys?
No.
On a public platform.
Call a spade a spade.
God damn. Yeah. Okay. Guess we gave these nut jobs too much blank checks in hopes they'll act responsibly and accountably whilst we take care of family business. It is our fault. And I think to a certain extent, it definitely is South Africans' fault. Sholin, is it our fault? Is it not?
Yeah, I think there should definitely be a sense of personal responsibility in that one because essentially the majority of South Africans have voted in those who are, in positions of power right now. And we have also done this thing where it's like election time comes, everybody's hyped up, you throw your vote for the next 5 years. We don't really care. We hear the Cyril story. We hear Malema was crazy in Parliament again. Something about Jacob Zuma, and then we just sit to the back and we do nothing. But we should also, actually pick up and be like, our politics, our engagement shouldn't just stop there. It should actually extend beyond that. We should be gathering people like Alex, each of us definitely have more than 5 friends. If we could just get half of those 5 friends to actually come with us to the ballot box the next time, vote for an alternative to those who are actually creating all of the problems and who are just handing out blank checks to all of their all of the cadres and all of their friends, then we could really transform everything in this country and realize that, you know what, complaining and sitting on the sidelines is actually not enough. And
Yeah.
we have a right to vote. A lot of countries do not have that privilege, and we should
Yeah.
definitely make use of it.
That is true.
Can I just add in Bali?
Mm-hmm.
This thing of voting is the bare minimum. That is the least that you can do to be involved in democracy. Really, like you you cannot rely on these systems to just maintain themselves without getting involved. There are organizations, civil society organizations, that exist for a reason because they all support various aspects of the constitution and institutions within society that uphold democracy. If you don't get involved to some degree and you outsource that responsibility, that's where crony politicians will really take advantage, and they play this game, and you need to play with them. Otherwise, you're gonna lose for sure.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Let us go to Charlotte's comment. And Charlotte definitely, I think she agrees with Diego. And she says, I've maintained that statement from the beginning of the majority takeover. Without our money, they'll be stuffed, no income, no pay. Diego, no income, no pay.
100%. It's a certain thing.
110%.
110%. And like I've mentioned before, with how the ANC is behaving, if it was easy to do what Helen Zille called for 2 years ago and got into trouble for, she called for a tax revolt. With how things are going, really, if it was a simple thing at this point, I would argue that, hey, citizens, let's call for a revolt, so we starve these people, and yeah, once I think if they are starved, then they might begin to think properly. But as things stand, really, they are not thinking, and it seems like a deliberate thing to just not think,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Let's go to maybe our last comment, and the comment comes from Vulindlela, and it reads, you should have said ANC politicians have a tendency. Not to say South African politicians have a tendency, because we all know the people in South Africa who behave like that are the ANC. This is
Well,
directed
the
to you,
ANC,
sir.
the EFF, the TAC, AZAPO, and many other people, really. And you do find such politicians in the DA as well. And that's another thing, a conversation that I think we should have at a later point as well. That as the ANC collapses, you have a lot of people coming from the ANC who are joining parties like Action SA, IFP, the DA. And that's what makes it dangerous. The whole narration of saying that if we remove the ANC in 2024, then things are gonna change. That's what makes that narration dangerous, because you have these individuals who are going to transfer into these political parties that were citizens would have voted for in 2024 and 2029. So, like Alex has said, what we truly do need, a change of government we definitely need. But simply changing the government and not holding those new people that you bring into government to account, it's not gonna be helpful at all. But yeah, that's my whole point. It's politicians across board, not just the ANC politicians.
Okay, understood. Because I was gonna fight you there. I was gonna be like, so the DA doesn't steal money. Wait, do they steal money? Before I accuse people of
You
stuff
do have
kind of
individuals in the DA who do steal. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of people in the DA who are certainly not liberals, who are there just for positions, and these are the kind of people when you do find when they do leave the DA, such people a lot of times they go on around the whole thing of race and stuff. I mean, Musi Maiman is one of those people. He came from the ANC, joined the DA, went on to lead the DA when people did not vote to change the DA into a mini ANC as he wanted it to become. He left and started talking about race and stuff. So you do find a whole lot of people who come from your EFFs, ANCs, who are in the party, but don't really support what the party stands for. They want to change it into what they want it to stand for, and when that doesn't happen, they become angry. Sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I see a bit of anger there from Sheldon when you're talking about the DA. It's okay, Sheldon. It's okay. All right, guys. I think
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what my man is going to be doing in the next year and a half. I don't think we've seen the end of him, just as a tangent. But yeah, I think it's going to be. I don't believe that. Yeah, obviously he's got his one to say and his whole independence thing. But I'm curious to see what sort of role that specific individual. We spoke about big man politics earlier, but yeah, he's one character. I'm very curious to see what his role is.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, we have come to the
Sorry, Mbalan, I was just going to mention after Alex said was that I'm sorry for that, was that especially as we see after the ANC eventually will go down, is the coalitions that will form. We might see, and because those coalitions form, we're going to see a government that could possibly have a John Steenhuisen as vice president, or Saba as minister of this, and Yamushi Memani possibly as your minister of whatever, what the case may be. But there will be a compilation of different individuals who we would not necessarily assume, because they come from different political parties, who will actually be the ones actually forming our government eventually. So we should definitely not, take our eyes off the smaller parties or the smaller individuals just because they're on the side right now, but because what eventually they will have that 5% electoral vote that will actually carry the government through after the elections. So I agree.
Definitely, we are all in agreement with you, Sheldon. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Burning Questions. Do remember to follow us on every social media platform: TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Badger of Liberty. And do remember that your freedom is worth fighting for.